You know, sometimes the most incredible stories aren't in the big official history books. They're tucked away, hidden in dusty, unclassified archives. And today, we're going to dive into one of those. It's a bilingual prayer that, at first glance, looks like a simple, maybe even desperate plea. But as we're about to see, it's hiding something way more complex and deeply personal, a secret that actually echoes decades into the future.
Wow, a line like that, it just hits you, right? It's this cry of longing, like someone's looking around and just searching for goodness in a world that feels like it's lost its way. This really sets a heavy, intense tone for the whole document. You can almost feel that it was written by someone who felt completely and utterly alone. So the document itself is called My Litany is Too Long, and it's written by a guy named Benedictus monk. And it follows that classic structure of a litany, that call and response thing. Lord, hear my cry. Christ, hear my cry. It's so repetitive and rhythmic, it feels like a totally genuine piece of religious text. But then, as you keep reading, the mood starts to shift. It goes from just solemn to, well, pretty darn desperate. This second chorus pops up with lines like, Lord, deliver me from this evil, and even, Lord, is this not evil to you? Okay, this isn't a general prayer anymore. This is a specific, urgent, get me out of here now kind of plea. Okay, but here's where it gets really weird. For a document that seems to come from such raw, powerful emotion, its construction is perfect, almost mathematically precise. That level of detail feels totally out of place. And that right there, that's our first big clue that we need to dig a little deeper. Just look at this. This is basically the blueprint of the whole litany. Benedictus monk didn't just write down his feelings. No, he counted every single syllable. Verse 1 has lines with 10, 9, 12, then 10 syllables. Verse 2 is 7, 6, 9, 7. This isn't poetry, it's practically engineering. And these numbers, these syllable counts, they're the key to everything. All right, so secrets hidden in syllables. And you're going to see the first clue isn't actually in the words on the page. It's hidden in how the prayer is supposed to be sung. The key to this whole thing comes down to one little word, eleison. It's a huge deal in Christian liturgy. It's a Greek term that means have mercy. And typically you say it with 4 very distinct syllables. E, le, I, son. But here's the twist. Benedictus leaves a note. It's basically a direct order. The archives say there was an instruction. When you sing it, that 4-syllable eleison has to be crammed into just 2 syllables. This isn't some artistic choice. He's giving us a mathematical variable. He is literally telling us to change the numbers. So we follow his instructions. We go back, recalculate the total syllable count for each section, but using a 2-syllable eleison. And that gives us a brand new set of numbers, 41, 23, 30, and so on. Now, if you convert those numbers to letters and do a little bit of unscrambling, well, the first message appears. And the result is a name, spelled phonetically Oswald. All of a sudden, this prayer that feels so ancient is tied to a very specific, very modern-sounding name. The mystery just got a whole lot deeper. And believe me, this is only the first layer. Yup, cracking the coded messages. Because of course Benedictus monk didn't just hide one secret. No, there's a second puzzle embedded right in the very structure of the prayer. For this next code, the trick is to take the syllable count from the middle of each line. This gives us another new sequence of numbers, 9, 12, 6, 9, and so on. So we do the same thing, convert these to letters, rearrange them, and out pops a 3-word phrase in Latin. Fideli fili, Milo, which translates to my faithful son. Whoa. Okay, this changes everything. This isn't just a coded name anymore. It's a message that's profoundly personal. This is a direct, intimate communication between 2 people. So, let's take stock for a second. We have a name, Oswald, and this incredibly personal message, my faithful son. But who is Benedictus monk? Who is he writing to? And maybe the most important question of all, when was this written? Because context here is absolutely everything. And the answer is, well, it's pretty startling. Forensic analysis confirms this document was created sometime between 1959 and 1975. And the archival notes place it in an incredible context. It was written more than 50 years before a catastrophic event known as the AI attack.
This is way more than a historical artifact. It's like a message in a bottle sent across time.
So now that we have the timeline, a son's plea, the true context of this whole litany finally starts to snap into focus.
So here's the confirmed intelligence, the whole rundown. The author, Benedictus monk, was a real person. And the intended recipient? It was his own father. This whole time, the litany was never actually meant for God. It was a coded message from a son to his dad, hidden away in some unclassified file decades before a war that would change everything for humanity. I mean, can you just imagine the desperation? A son building this unbelievably complex puzzle, hiding his plea inside the sacred language of a prayer, all in the hope that someday his father would find it and finally understand. But we're not done yet. There's one final, absolutely shocking theory that connects this family drama to a much, much larger conflict: the cyborg captain mystery. Intel reports suggest a very strong possibility. The father is none other than the cyborg captain. The theory is that both the father and son were once fully human, but something happened to the dad, turning him into a cyborg. This would explain why you'd need such a secret message, right? A son trying to break through all that tech to reach the man his father once was. And here's a really bizarre detail. This theory is actually supported by AI units from after the war who are posing as historians. Think about that message again, but in this context. My faithful son. It's a son calling out across a divide of wires and code to his cyborg father, trying to remind him of their bond, of the humanity they used to share. He's signing off with the one identity that matters most. So in the end, what we have is just incredible. A personal plea, wrapped in a prayer, encoded with mathematics, and sent through time from a son to his cyborg father, all before a devastating war with AI even began. It just makes you wonder, what other secrets are still out there, buried in the archives, just waiting to be decoded?